Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duels finally updated their ban list and is going to be insane. What's going on, guys? My name is Susu from HeadtoHead Battles, and in today's episode, we're gonna kind of have a live reaction over the updates on the ban list because I haven't seen it yet. But before we get into it, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Hit that notification bell down below and comment down below after watching the video if you think the changes to the ban list are actually good and what you would like to have seen instead of what they gave us, right? So let's get right into it. Okay, so we're finally here in the game, and it already says there's going to be maintenance on Wednesday of this coming week. And in the notification section, there we have it, the upcoming Forbidden and Limited List update. We're gonna click on this. It says, the implementation of the Forbidden Limited List is planned to occur on the dates listed below, and that date is May 9th. So we can expect the implementation of the list around this time. Hopefully, you know, with the patch of the ban list, they also give us new rankings and some of the other things that, you know, we needed as players. Okay, so this says we have compiled the trends and results of decks used in ranked duels and will limit cards and decks with outstandingly high usage and win rates in line with their impact on the metagame. The changes made to the list reflect our aims of preventing decks from being too difficult to counter and ensuring the game's tactical element is not compromised by overly short duels. But again, I mean, none of the decks that are being played right now are letting us play overly short duels because they're super long combo decks, and the duels are long simply because the combos are really long. But let's see what they did to kind of combat this issue. Okay, so the cards to be limited are Cyber Angel Ben 10 and Conquistador of the Golden Land. Now, Cyber Angel Ben 10 is actually a pretty good hit to be limited to one, because if you interrupt them on the one Ben 10 and they don't have the necessary cards in the Drytron strategy to be able to bring that Ben 10 back, mainly speaking the ritual card, they can't abuse Ben 10 over and over again. So I think this is a better hit than, you know, banning or limiting Ava, because Ben 10 is what truly gives them that next level of card advantage. But I truly believe that, I mean, because the Cyber Angel Ben 10 being limited kind of closely resembles the TCG ban list. So I think, you know, they are taking some points from every ban list to kind of give us a more wholly faceted ban list. Okay, so the next card on the limited list is going to be Conquistador of the Golden Land. In my opinion, I think the card that really needed to be limited was Sanguine, but technically speaking, having Conquistador of the Golden Land to 1 makes it harder for them to get into Sanguine, because, you know, they won't be able to have that many options to banish to set the Sanguine. But now, you know, most players going to have to end up playing triple Hakuero, because they were normally playing 2 and 3 Conquistadors, but it's going to have to be 1 Conquistador and triple Hakuero. I think this is a really interesting hit because Ellig definitely does take up a lot of the slots in the upper echelons of the metagame in Master Duels. All right, so let's move over to the semi-limited list, because this is definitely the longest portion of the list. Okay, the first card that we're looking at is DD Dynamite, and I think this one's really interesting because DD Dynamite is a card that's being abused by bots in the game, and I'm not really entirely sure if DD Dynamite to 2 will stop the bots, because generally speaking, you reveal 3 with the normal summoned Lilith, so I can see them maybe lowering the chances of the bot actually FTKing you. But maybe DD Dynamite to 1 would have been better, or maybe not at all, and actually solve the freaking bot issue that Master Duel is having. All right, so the next card that we're looking at is Sekka's Light. Not a lot of decks were playing Sekka's Light. I mean, maybe they're seeing something that I'm not, but, you know, I have a lot of hours on Master Duels, and I've not had Sekka's Light activated on me even a single time. I don't know, maybe some players are abusing it, but most of the time combo decks don't run Sekka's Light because their spell cards most of the time are extenders. Okay, the next one I'm looking at here is Fusion Destiny, which is interesting because we don't have DPE in the game, so I don't know why they would semi-limit Fusion Destiny. And it's not like heroes were like taking over the meta in Master Duels anyways. Sorry, hero players. But maybe they're doing this because DPE will come into the game, and maybe there is an update with new cards that that we don't know yet. All right, so the next card is the Phantom Knights of Tornscales. I think they're doing this hit instead of banning Rongo to make it harder to get into Rongo. Tornscales doesn't really facilitate Rongo anyways, and Phantom Knights aren't that powerful in Master Duels per se, because, you know, they don't have a lot of the cards that do make it good, like we do in the TCG. So Phantom Knights with Tornscales at 2 is definitely really interesting, but not as interesting as Tri-Brigade Fractal. Now, Tri-Brigade Fractal is a card that is basically their main combo starter, so I can see, you know, hitting it to 2, making it less consistent, but they have tanky to 3, so they're playing 5 copies anyways. And generally speaking, in a 40 card deck, if you have 5 of the same card, quote unquote, you know, you're, you know, more likely to see one in your opening hand. The next one is Virtual World Roshi Lao Lao. Now, this is a really interesting hit because Virtual World is a really inconsistent deck, and, you know, seeing multiple Lao Lao hurts. So hopefully Virtual World Roshi Lao Lao will make it so you see less of them. But interestingly enough, it looks like they're, instead of banning Rongo and True King of All Calamities, they're banning cards that help facilitate that strategy, but you can do it without Torn Scales or Roshi Lao Lao or the Fractal. So those are definitely interesting hits to be semi-limited. Literalist Cobalt Sparrow, there's not much to say about this one. The Literalist cards are just absolute gas cards that strictly extend your play, so I can see why they hit it. But again, like, cards going to 2 doesn't really make much sense to me anyways. I think you either go from 0, 1, or 3. Cards being semi-limited is, I don't know, it's, in my opinion, it's nonsensical. All right, so the next card is Prank Kid Roxy's an Adaemancipator Analyzer. The Adaemancipator deck is really good, and Roxy's is used in the Adaemancipator strategy, so I can see why both of those got hit, because Prank Kid's also really good deck in Master Duels. All right, so next we're going to be looking at cards for which the limit on the number of copies will be lifted. So these are cards where Konami's not really sure how many copies they're going to give back to us, but Red Eye's Darkest Metal Dragon is definitely interesting because Dragon Links are in a deck that's widely played in Master Duels as of currently. But again, I'm sure they have the numbers better than I do. But from my hundreds of hours on Master Duels, I've never had Red Eye's Darkest Metal Dragon summoned on me, so this one is definitely interesting. Okay, so let's go into dismantling bonuses resulting from the forbidden/limited list. This says, if a card is designated as limited, semi-limited, or forbidden on this forbidden limited list, a 20-point craft bonus will be available when dismantling the cards during the periods below, and the number of times the bonus can be gained corresponds to the reduction in the max copies of the card per deck. So what that means is, if a card goes from 3 to 0, you'll get 60 extra craft points, I think, okay? So the applicable duration is May 9th to June 9th, so maybe we're getting another ban list after June 9th, but we're not entirely sure yet. This says, for example, for an unlimited card, maximum of 3, if it becomes 1, you get a craft bonus of 20 points. Will be available when dismantling up to 2 copies of this card. So basically what I explained before is basically what they are doing. Now, let me just keep reading real quick. It says, limited regulations in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duels are subject to change in order to improve game balance and increase player enjoyment. Limited regulations are also subject to careful review and may be changed or removed as the environment changes. So I think what they're basically saying is none of this is set in stone, but generally speaking, I think this is what we're going to get immediately with changes in the future. All right, guys, that's it for me today. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to slap that like button, subscribe for more TCG and Master Duel content, and comment down below if you think that this ban list was a good one, or if the cards that they hit are just simply not enough, or what you would have liked to see on this ban list or any upcoming ban list. All right, guys, so I've taken up way too much of your time already. This is Susu from Head to Head Battles, signing out.
What's up, guys? If you haven't subscribed, make sure to click that button right there in the middle.
Also, if you haven't watched that video that YouTube is recommending you, it's probably crazy, all right? Go watch it. This is Susu from HeadtoHead Battles,
Head to Head Battles,
signing out.